Hey guys, welcome to day 3 of Holy Week. This is Holy Wednesday. You know, it's interesting. Wednesday kind of gives you a little bit of a breather in the story in the middle of Holy Week. We've kind of walked through what's happened from Palm Sunday to now. And then now in the middle of the week on Wednesday, most scholars say they don't really know exactly what Jesus was doing on this day. They have some ideas. We'll talk about a few of those in a moment. But it gives us a chance just to reflect and kind of gear up because Thursday, Friday on through obviously is power packed. And so let me just read you a few thoughts as we reflect on day 3, Holy Wednesday. You know, scholars speculate that after 2 exhausting days in Jerusalem, Jesus and his disciples spent this day resting in Bethany in anticipation of the Passover. Remember, they're making their journey to Passover at the end of the week. It says just a short time previously, Jesus had revealed to the disciples and the world that he had power over death by raising Lazarus from the grave. And after seeing this incredible miracle, many people in Bethany believed that Jesus was the Son of God, and they put their faith in him. Also in Bethany, just a few nights earlier than that, we read the account of the dinner party with Lazarus, Mary, and Martha. But there is one account here we can read here in John 13, and it's a little bit of a foretelling. He's beginning to talk about how Judas is going to betray him. It actually won't happen for another day, but we can read this account here where he's kind of setting the stage for that event. This is John 13, 21 through 32. It says, After saying this, Jesus was troubled in spirit and declared, "Very truly I tell you, one of you will betray me." The disciples looked at one another, and certain of whom he was speaking, one of his disciples, the one whom Jesus loved, was reclining next to him. It says, Simon Peter therefore motioned to him to ask Jesus of whom he was speaking. So while reclining next to Jesus, he asked him, "Lord, who is it?" And Jesus answered, "It is the one to whom I give this piece of bread when I have dipped it in the dish." So when he had dipped the piece of bread, he gave it to Judas, son of Simon Iscariot. And after he received the piece of bread, it says Satan entered him. Jesus said to him, "Do quickly what you are going to do." Now no one at the table knew why he said this to him. Some thought that because Judas had the common purse, Jesus was telling him, buy what you need for the festival, or that he should give something to the poor. So after receiving the piece of bread, he immediately went out, and it was night. And when he had gone out, Jesus said, "Now the Son of Man has been glorified, and God has been glorified in him. If God has been glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself and will glorify him at once." So understand here, Jesus is beginning to tell who is going to betray him. Now remember, the disciples, they're walking this out. They're not like us. They don't have the Bible to kind of read through and know what's going to happen. They're facing it as it's happening. And so Jesus is illustrating with the dipping of the piece of bread and giving it to Judas. As it says, soon as Jesus gave that bread to Judas, it says Satan entered him and he left. And it's interesting to note, and it says, and it was night. Now again, the disciples thought, well, Judas is kind of the person who keeps the money. He's kind of the accountant. He handles the finances. They thought, well, Jesus is sending Judas out to give something to the poor possibly, or to go buy supplies for the end of the week festival. And so Jesus is, again, he's setting the stage for what is going to take place the next day. So on this Holy Wednesday, I just encourage you to take some time to reflect, to spend some time in his word as we gear up from Thursday on through the rest of the week of Holy Week. And I encourage you to join us tomorrow as we dive in. Thanks for joining us. God bless you guys.